Is Shadow lose this one? I'm not gonna be surprised. Hey guys, it's Flamefall here. So right now I'm gonna go do two death battles right now. Yep, that's right. I'm catching up, and this time it's Shadow versus Ryoko, and another one is Lex Luthor versus Doctor Doom. Not gonna lie, I actually like these characters. Well, all except Lex Luthor. But anyway, that's not the point here. The point is, I actually like these characters. The most death battles. Wait a minute. No, yeah, that's right. The most death battles that Shao has entered. It is like his third time. Most of them he literally lost. Like he fought Vegeta, he fought Mewtwo, he still lost. Well, let's see if the tables have turned for this death battle. If not, so anyway, let's get this going in 3, 2, 1. Okay, what the? I'm so confused. I was like Car Wars.
Shadow the Hedgehog, powerhouse of chaos and rival to Sonic.
And Ryuko Matoi, the teen fighter in life fiber from Kill la Kill.
They both may be try-hard incarnate, but when the chips are down, who is the deadliest edgelord of them all?
He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle. Dr. Gerald Robotnik, grandfather to the Dr. Eggman we all know, had a problem. His granddaughter, Maria, was dying, succumbing to a neuroimmunity disease with no known cure.
But old Jerry had a plan. When the government contacted him to build the ultimate life form, he figured its DNA could cure Maria no problem. So he took the job, and by studying the infinite power of Chaos Emeralds, with some alien assistance, he made the one and only Shadow the Hedgehog. Wait, did the government commission him, or was it Hot Topic?
Better question, since when were hedgehogs ultimate disease-curing life forms? I mean, Gerald's prototype was a lizard, which sort of makes sense, as certain reptiles have regenerative tissue, but then he went from this to a hedgehog. Okay?
Who cares if he's a lizard, hedgehog, squirrel, or whatever, Wiz? All that matters is he's super badass looking, super badass sounding, and is super powered by chaos. Literally.
Shadow's powers are directly tied to those of the Miracle Gem's Chaos Emeralds. He can tap into their power for incredible feats, similar to his Blue Blur rival. Likely for this very reason, he actually possesses many of the same abilities as Sonic.
You know, the guy who's so fast he can almost outrun a black hole?
Spin attacks, homing attacks, spin dashes, etc.
But unlike his blue buddy, Shadow's not afraid to get serious and bust out some lead. Hey Sonic, why use a spin attack when you've got a goddamn gun or a sword as big as you? Look at that thing!
He's used some of the same power-ups that Sonic's picked up, like heat barriers and magnetic lightning shields. But he also has some unique gear all of his own.
His air shoes are way cooler than Sonic's sneakers. They can boost his speed to match Sonic's and also let him fly, kind of. He's even got some gear attached that lets him attack at the speed of light.
However, all of these abilities and equipment are mere accessories to Shadow's true power, the might of chaos itself. Even without an emerald on hand, Shadow can summon similar power, manifesting attacks like Black Tornado, Chaos Blast, or the deadly Chaos Spear.
But even though they totally asked for Dark Jerry to make Shadow, the feds got spooked and tried to shut down the project. And that's when things went bad. Like, really bad.
Shadow was successfully sealed away, but in the crossfire, a life was lost. Maria.
Locked up and super pissed off, Shadow had plenty of time to work on his angsty poetry, and Jerry had time to give him fake memories and a need for revenge against all humanity. Wiz, you think we're ever gonna find a scientist who doesn't go totally bonkers?
I mean, what about me?
Okay.
Well, since Maria was Shadow's only real friend, revenge seemed like a good idea, which was a serious problem considering just how powerful he is.
He can teleport, slow down, or even stop time, and even time traveled a bit. And just like any teenage boy, he's got some serious mood swings he doesn't like to talk about.
Which can actually affect his abilities. With negative emotion, his raw power intensifies. With positive emotion, he gains more control. But when it comes down to it, the government may have been right to worry. Shadow possesses so much power, even he can't always control it.
Chaos powers are crazy. Sonic once used all 7 of the Chaos Emeralds to literally rebuild the Earth.
This is why Shadow wears inhibitor rings, which limit how much chaos energy he can release at once. When he does remove them, what he loses in control is made up for by a massive increase in power, enough to match that of a whole Chaos Emerald. What are you looking at?
Is that, do you have a ring on your robot arm?
It was, gift?
Cool. Now, good luck with that. All the rings I've given out to people always get sent back eventually. Anyway, Spiky Head's so powerful, he teleported an entire space colony and even a giant asteroid. Plus, he's held back this huge space plant monster.
And of course, tapping into the power of additional Chaos Emeralds increases his power to unbelievable heights.
By doing a tango with all 7, he can turn into Super Shadow. Now, without power rings, this form can't stick around for more than a full minute. But while he's golden, he's got super enhanced abilities, is basically invulnerable, and he can fly.
Base Shadow's not only survived being shot out of a cannon, but he's just as tough as Sonic, who survived the space station Death Egg exploding right in front of him. Most impressively, as Super Shadow, he and Supersonic were fired into planet Aquarius, obliterating it. This would take over a whole exaton of TNT.
So you've explained. All this happened because after 50 years of Shadow being trapped, Eggman himself released him to conquer the world. Sonic and crew had to stop him from destroying all mankind, but really he's so fast he'd wreck anyone's shit before they'd notice.
Shadow has dodged gunfire and destroyed enemies without being seen, but his light speed attacks are stated as being exactly that, light speed. Almost 3 million meters per second.
So Shadow's super strong and super fast. Makes sense he's a formidable enemy to just about anyone.
Lucky for our heroes, they inspired Shadow to regain his memories of Maria, who actually wanted him to protect humanity instead of, destroy it.
He may have softened up, but he'll always be the edgy hedgehog we love to hate to love.
Understood. Initiating the mission now.
Thousands of years ago, aliens that would come to be known as life fibers crashed to Earth. These parasites attached themselves to the most intelligent species they could find. Humans.
And they even got humans to make them into clothes so it was easier for them to live on us. And provide viewers with gratuitous fan service.
Yeah. Anyway, the life fibers helped humans evolve more quickly and soon just passively survived as humanity developed. But some weren't content with such passivity, like Ragyo Kirui, who had access to the original primordial life fiber that landed on Earth so long ago.
And humans are gonna human, so she and her husband experimented on that sucker like nobody's business.
They attempted to infuse fibers into both of their daughters. Their first daughter was too old for the experiment to be a success, and it appeared that their infant second daughter was also a failure, so Ragyo just threw her away.
Whoa! She threw away her baby? Kinda reminds me of how my dad just threw away our relationship.
Well, fortunately for this child, her father couldn't stand by Ragyo's decision and rescued her, assuming the name Ishin Matoi, and raised this daughter himself. This is Ryuko.
Yeah, things were okay for a while, but it wasn't a picnic at the Matoi household. Ryuko and Ishin didn't always get along, so he shipped her off to boarding school to find other people there instead of him. When she finally came home, she found dear old dad bleeding out, impaled by a weird-looking sword.
This was the first half of what would become her signature weapon, the Scissor Blades. In Ishin's last moments, he urged Ryuko to find whoever wielded the other half of the weapon, the one who killed him.
Ryuko might not have known it, but the Scissor Blades were created by her father out of life fibers.
They're actually one of the only weapons that can cut and destroy life fibers, which is important when your opponents are all using, life fibers.
I would say we take a shot every time we say life fiber, but you'd definitely die, Wiz. And do not try that at home. Anyway, with the quest of revenge and half a scissor blade, she started hunting down her father's killer. But she couldn't do it by herself. So she found a skimpy sailor suit to help her out. Yeah, here's that fan service thing I was telling you about.
This is Senketsu, a living suit made from life fibers, also known as a kamui. Now, there's plenty of clothing out there made with some life fiber, but a kamui like Senketsu is unique in that it's made of 100% life fiber. And yes, I said living suit.
Wait, Ryuko! These assassins can't hear me!
That feels nice.
Yeah, that's not creepy at all.
Not just anyone can wear Senketsu, as they have to successfully bond with him for the process to work. Lucky for Ryuko, she absolutely could, in no small part thanks to the life fibers infused within her body when she was an infant.
See, Mom, you trash person, it did work. And when she and Senketsu learned how to work together, there wasn't much that could stand in their way. He's more than just a sailor outfit.
As a life fiber construct, Senketsu can absorb other life fibers to increase his own power, allowing him to transform to gain new abilities.
His Senjin form makes him super spiky, and his Shippu form turns Ryuko into a badass fighting rocket.
He's also able to combine both the Senjin and Shippu forms for more versatility. Admittedly though, each of these transformations comes at a cost for Ryuko as they're fueled by Senketsu consuming her blood. This is most dangerous in his Berserker form that occurs when Ryuko gets too upset and Senketsu loses control. If not stopped in time, she could die from too much blood loss.
But most impressive is when Ryuko straight up goes flying Super Saiyan and Senketsu turns into his Kisaragi form. It's way more powerful and uses even more of her blood. What's the deal? Is Senketsu a vampire?
Well, a popular theory suggests that it's all a metaphor for puberty. Senketsu pulling out Ryuko's blood is symbolic of menstruation, and the skimpier outfits visualize acceptance of sexuality and adulthood, except she's a teenager who already went through puberty?
Wiz, do you have a daughter?
No.
I thought so. At least having life fiber DNA means she has crazy abilities on top of Senketsu's transformations, like insane super fast healing.
Basically, life fibers restore themselves so quickly that Ryuko's body starts regenerating before a blade has finished cutting through her. Unless someone is quick enough to cut through her body before this regeneration begins, she can survive almost anything.
She's been stabbed and sliced tons of times, including completely in half, and even had her heart ripped out of her chest. Can we get this chick as the next guest character in Mortal Kombat? I mean, they're taking basically anybody these days, so...
Her strength is incredible. At one point, she had to blast a hole through a layer of life fibers surrounding the entire planet. Life fibers are stated to be harder than solid steel, so to pull this off, she must have struck with a force equivalent to over 650 exatons of TNT.
Which means she'd be able to take a hit that strong too. But with all these powers and more, Ryuko finally found her father's killer.
And completed the rending scissors.
These swords can casually cut through skyscrapers and have some super forms of their own. Decapitation mode extends the blades for better slicing and dicing, while alumni mode makes them so gigantic they eclipse the freaking earth. What is this show?
Next to Ryuko, one scissor blade is normally about 2.5 feet long. Scaling up, the alumni mode appears to be about 1,017 times larger, weighing well over 3 million tons. If you have a pair of normal scissors at home, imagine lifting 50 billion of those all at once. That's what this is like.
She can slice through 200 tennis balls 5 times each in less than a second, which us in the scientifically community call fast as f***.
Or 8,000 times faster than sound. And she rocketed it into the atmosphere in less than 18 seconds, which means her flying speed can reach Mach 500.
Wait. Why is everyone naked?
Ryuko may not have had the easiest upbringing, but after dedicating herself to revenge for so long, and yet saving the entire planet, she had become something unexpected. A hero.
Let's go! I'm gonna slice your ass in half!
Alright, the bats are set. We've run the data through all possibilities.
But first, Shadow and Ryuko are always ready to perform, and make sure you are with Blue Chew. This episode of Death Battle is sponsored by Blue Chew. You know, in our death battles, we can't allow our contestants using anything to enhance their performances.
Luckily, these rules don't apply when it comes to your confidence in your bed. And Blue Chew has you covered. With their chewable tablets, Blue Chew is making waves and bringing more confidence to the bedroom.
That's right! Blue Chew is a unique online prescription service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, but in a chewable form and at a fraction of the cost.
All this with no visits to the doctor, no awkward conversations, no waiting in line at the pharmacy, just a discreet discreet package shipped right to your door.
Blue Chew's tablets combat all forms of ED and can help men gain extra confidence for when it's time to perform. And the process is so simple.
All you have to do is sign up at BlueChew.com, consult with one of their licensed medical providers to help you find the right ingredient and strength, and once you're approved, you'll receive your prescription within days.
So if you think you could benefit from a little extra confidence when it's time to perform, just head on over to BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information.
And we've got a special deal for you. Try Blue Chew free when you use our promo code BATTLE at checkout. Just pay $5 shipping. That's BlueChew.com promo code BATTLE to receive your first month free. Thanks, Blue Chew, for sponsoring the show.
But right now, it's time for a death battle!
Alright, how this gonna work out?
Hey! You cut me off, asshat!
Who cares?
Yuko, maybe we should...
Oh, yeah?
Well, it's gonna be pretty hard for Naruto because I like speed.
Chaos control!
He's anticipating you. You should anticipate him instead.
No shit, stupid!
They ride on the man's bike?
Let's get faster! Magic Shampoo! Aw, did your mommy pack that sword for you?
Careful, that hurts.
Have a little faith!
My God!
Time to end this. Behold my power!
Senkan Kisaragi!
Faker.
Scissor blade! Alumni mode!
Yeah, this could be.
Sayonara, dipshit!
Shut up!
Did he just broke it?
Chaos Blast.
Point blank range?
I'm the coolest.
Yo! You know, we made fun of how little clothing Ryoko was wearing, but Shadow's been naked the whole time!
Armed with Senkets, her scissor blades, and her life fiber buffs, Ryuko was definitely a match for Shadow, at first.
Yeah, with her awesome strength combined with her insane endurance, Space Form Shadow was in a lot of trouble. But even then, it wasn't a surefire win for the Rocket Chick.
Outside of his super form, Shadow never withstood anything on the scale of Ryuko's hole in the life fibers surrounding Earth. At her maximum power, she could have easily dealt a killing blow, if she could catch him. Shadow could keep up with Sonic the Hedgehog, whose race against a black hole proves he can move over 260,000 times faster than sound. Far faster than anything Ryuko's shown, and more than quick enough to slice through a life fiber before it has time to heal.
Once the red and black Edgehog turned red and gold, Ryuko didn't really have a way to take him down. I mean, Super Shadow's Chaos powers use all 7 Chaos Emeralds, which can move pieces of the Earth around.
Considering Earth's total mass and the speed at which each piece was moved, this would require exerting energy equivalent to 1.6 decillion joules, which translates to over 2,800 zetatons of TNT.
That's a ton of power! A lot more than Ryuko's biggest hits. Even 1 Chaos Emerald is enough to match Ryuko's best. And considering Shadow can match the power of an emerald when he takes off those inhibitors, he had better odds of winning even without going super.
Ryuko put up an amazing fight, one for the ages,
I'm
but
actually
Shadow's
impressed.
unmatched power and speed proved too much
I
for
thought it
Our
was
Lady
someone
in black and
else.
red.
Hey, he's pretty beat up about it too. Do you know what he said when he was asked what his favorite anime is?
I like the one with the edgy girl and the scissor blade.
It's canon. No, really.
In clothing, the Edgehog couldn't be overshadowed, and Ryuko's life fiber was snipped.
No.
The winner is Shadow the Hedgehog.
Congratulations, Shadow.
This episode of Death Battle is brought to you by Harry's. For a limited time, Harry's has an exclusive offer for viewers of Death Battle.
New customers can get a Harry starter set and a free body wash for just $3 at harrys.com/death. That's over a $16 value for just $3.
You'll get a 5-blade razor, weighted handle, foaming shave gel, a travel cover, and a travel-sized body wash. Those razors give a pretty sweet shave whiz, and I should know, my beard refuses to be tamed by anything else.
It's an incredible deal, but act fast while supplies last. Go to harrys.com/death to redeem your offer. Lex Luthor, CEO of LexCorp and nemesis to Superman.
And Dr. Doom, King of Latveria and Doom of the Fantastic Four.
The intellect of these two evildoers is unmatched in their own worlds.
But what happens when the geniuses of these spiteful nerds collide? He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle. In the city of Metropolis, soaring above all other structures, one can find atop the tallest building an L.
Who's the dickbag that decided to literally hang that L over everyone's head? Just the one and only Lex Luthor.
Born and raised in Smallville, Kansas, Lex's early life was complicated. His father, Lionel, was a scientist doing dubious experiments on Martian Manhunter.
When the lid was cracked on this evil science operation, asses had to be covered. So Lex and his old man got a convenient memory wipe, reducing Lionel to an alcoholic and setting Lex down a path to get away from his deadbeat dad. Right there with you, bud.
But because this is comics, that's just Lex's story in one continuity.
In another, he's a mad scientist. In another, he's a self-made billionaire. And in yet another, he was friends with Superboy until Superboy made him bald. No wonder this guy's so cynical.
Regardless of which Lex we're talking about, he hates Superman. In his eyes, if Superman continues to exist, humanity will become weak and reliant on him, and ultimately perish. Supposedly.
Ever since Soups flew into town, he's been Lex's undoing.
But also his driving force in creating technology, chief among them being his war suit.
This bad boy comes equipped with loads of goodies: a force field, electroblasts, missiles, a chest laser, and wrist blades for all your Batman shanking needs.
Lex has utilized many different energy sources for his suits, but his newest and greatest is the Mother Box, a nigh inexhaustible piece of new god technology with which Lex can create energy beams, repair his suit, and teleport via quantum folding.
The suit can survive a planet exploding and lets old Lex go toe-to-toe with Superman himself.
Well, it is questionable if his suit is directly comparable to Superman going all out, especially with his reliance on kryptonite. But Lex has used it to fight with other DC powerhouses.
Like this orange bugman Larfleeze, who's basically a one-man Lantern Corps. You know, that band of green boot stompers who can cross the universe in under an hour.
Knowing DC has a universe at least 100 trillion light years across, this would require a speed over 5 quintillion times the speed of light.
Or how about the time Green Lantern Kyle Rayner held back the Big Frickin' Bang?
Much of Lex's tech is relegated to the war suit, but he does have on-hand gadgets too, such as a heat ray, robot replicas called Lexbots, and a special barrier that temporarily turns anything it touches two-dimensional.
It turns you 2D, huh? That sounds like a weeb's wet dream. How does that work?
It's rather simple, actually. By applying higher dimensional physics to a simple 2D grid, we can replicate and place the form of a three-dimensional object into a lower, flattened form that...
Make it stop! Make it stop! Wow, I knew the old squirrel diet was a good idea.
Fix this man!
Unlike Lex's 80s tech, he's not all two-dimensional. Sure, he's had his squabbles with Superman, but after Supes died, not when he punched the gray guy when he blew up this punk Denny, he gained a newfound respect for the Man of Steel and took up his mantle. Maybe he isn't the bald psycho everyone thinks he is.
Doubtful.
Yeah.
Lex's actions, both good and bad, tend to stem from one thing. He really wants to be Superman himself.
He jelly. It would explain why he made the Everyman Project, an experiment meant to turn normies into superhumans.
Unfortunately, Lex's genes were not compatible. He still went through the procedure, but even after some voluntary organ harvesting, he only had 6 months to live.
Wow, Lex really does want to be Superman, even if it kills him.
But if Lex can't be Superman, he might as well make himself the one person that super citizen has to answer to. Which is why Lex decided to, what else, run for president.
Can you imagine a president who's an
that'd be
evil
terrible.
billionaire and hates aliens? So unrealistic.
Lex was already a nihilist with few real attachments, and became all the worse when he learned he could neither be nor control Superman. Take, for example, the time he made a cure for his sister's terminal illness,
Well, that doesn't seem so bad.
and then reinfected her with that same illness seconds later, just to prove he could.
Jesus Christ! Never mind, he's evil. Why would anyone work for this guy?
Lex's outlook on life actually gained a big following. After traveling millions of years into the future, because comics, Lex saw a world where his goals became reality, where people quit aspiring to the impossible standards of superheroes, instead embracing who they were deep down, selfish and greedy animals.
So he
That's it.
literally
That's it.
inspired a philosophy around being the opposite of Superman.
Apparently. Isn't it ironic, though, that even those who chose to follow Lex's ideals called this philosophy doom?
Huh, I guess Lutheran was already taken. Anyways, his fanboys from the future might consider it their doom, but to Lex, his ideals are everything. And to his credit, they have seen him through some pretty heavy stuff.
Like outsmarting Brainiac, getting tortured by Joker,
And getting shot out of a helicopter by a gorilla. Don't worry, somehow he got better.
even completely stripped of everything, standing before an almighty
naked?
God. Lex Luthor will continue to defend his ideals. This harbinger of doom is truly beyond comprehension. Or so he says.
Who is it, Superman?
Lex Luthor, the greatest criminal mind of our time.
Yeah.
At
Crazy.
first glance, Latveria
Crazy
appears to be a humble nation located in the center of Europe, but within its borders may be the greatest threat the world has ever known.
That threat being the malevolent king, Dr. Doom!
But Doom did not start out as a king. Born as a Romani, Victor von Doom had a tumultuous childhood. After his mother's soul was taken by the demon Mephisto, and his father died on the run from an evil baron, Doom did what any mad scientist would do, and began making inventions.
Like his own robot replicas and Marvel's favorite retcon device, the Doombots. That sounds familiar.
The technical
created
wonders
for-
he made, while also scamming people, were so great the Empire State University offered him a scholarship.
And so began a good old college try by Doom.
There, Doom built a device to communicate with his mother in the underworld. But because of a miscalculation that may or may not be thanks to the thing, it blew up in his face. Literally.
It's okay though. After the explosion gave him a nasty scar, Doom ventured to Tibet, where some monks did him a solid and helped him build a suit of armor.
Made from a mastery of science and mysticism, Doom's titanium armor goes beyond the wonders of ordinary technology and into the absurd.
It's the Swiss Army knife of power armors, complete with electrical blast, a device
armor
that
is
scrambles
broken.
brain neurons, and a laser staff that doubles as a technovirus.
At full power, the suit can break through an adamantine coffin.
What?
And allegedly contains pieces of the cross that Jesus Christ himself was crucified on.
Just in case a pesky Dracula comes your way, which he did. With this suit, Doom easily conquered Latveria and overthrew the Baron who gave him so much trouble years back. Aha! Take that, asshole!
Seeing how prosperous his rule was, Doom thought if he could make Latveria better by conquering it, why not make the whole world better by conquering it?
Well, I mean, a Panther God did say he should. Too bad he was always stopped by the Fantastic Four.
And their leader, Reed Richards, also known as Mr. Fantastic.
To put it lightly, Doom freaking hates him. One time, when Doom was being pulled into hell, rather than try to escape eternal torment, all he wanted to do was burn and scar Reed's face.
To Doom, Reed Richards is a man of unquenchable vanity and unmitigated arrogance, consumed by his own ego at the cost of everyone around him.
Yeah, I think Doom might be projecting a bit there.
Though he has failed many times to conquer the world, Doom certainly has the arsenal to do so.
Antimatter guns, bombs that transmute things to chrome, a molecular expander that turns tiny particles into boulders, and time shift bombs that'll send you several seconds into the past.
But his most interesting gadget is the Cosmic Power Siphon. While not particularly fashionable, at least before he implemented it into his suit, the siphon has absorbed and stolen the powers of numerous cosmic entities.
You might be asking, if Doom has all these gadgets, why doesn't he use them more often? Well, in his own words, Doom's reasons are his own. Do not question them.
But Doom is more than just a scientist. He's also a magician. In fact, a contender for Sorcerer Supreme. As such, he can employ all manner of magic spells, barriers, teleportation, mystical energy blasts, etc.
And if he ever wants to Freaky Friday a foe, he can use a mind swap technique he took from the Ovoids to switch bodies.
Like this.
Oh, how do you walk with these scrawny legs? This one isn't even a gun!
Why are there 6 of you? Am I drunk? Dummy!
Yeah.
Shane just back.
It should come as no surprise that a multi-classing nerd like Doom has taken on some of Marvel's toughest heroes.
He's faster than Reed Richards, who reacted to interstellar beams fired by Galactus, and has even deflected Thor's hammer.
The same hammer that flew Thor across the universe in seconds.
Knowing Marvel's universe has a diameter of at least 1 trillion light years, Mjolnir must have been moving over 2 quintillion times the speed of light.
And that's not even getting into Doom's battles with the Green Universe Clapper, the Hulk.
Or the no-holds-barred punch he took from Sentry with only 7% of his suit's power left.
With so much tech and magic, it's a wonder Doom ever loses.
Well, for all his achievements, Doom does have one insurmountable weakness. Squirrels.
I knew it!
Squirrels.
Nobody's a match for those little bastards but me. But hey, as long as he stays on Bucktooth's good side, he should be alright.
He also has a bad habit of just losing godlike power at the worst of times.
Like when his control over the Power Cosmic was taken by a plot-convenient cosmic energy-stealing super airplane.
Still, Doom persevered and became the God Emperor of everything. Until Mr. Fantastic stole his powers away.
Oh boy, if Doom already hated Reed, what did he think of him after that?
Surprisingly, Doom's time as a god caused an epiphany of sorts. He looked back on his actions, his ego finally shattered, and in his reflection was left with a desire to fix his ways.
So he took up the role of Iron Man of all people, stopped being so world-conquering, and became a good guy.
Just for a little bit, don't worry, he was back to being a maniacal would-be conqueror soon enough.
Comic book status quo.
It seems a literal multiverse-scale intervention couldn't keep Doom from being Doom.
Your plan to destroy them has failed, Master.
Failed. Dr. Doom does not fail.
Alright, the combatants are set. We've run the data through all possibilities.
But first, if you want to be as bold and confident as Lex and Doom, try out Blue Chew.
You know, it takes a lot of bravery to compete in one of our death battles. I mean, it's in the name. Death battle? Fight to the death?
Yeah, it definitely takes a lot of confidence to make that difficult decision. But you know it isn't a hard decision and gives you confidence in the bedroom? Blue Chew's tablets.
That was one heck of a segue, Boomstick, but you are right. This episode of Death Battle is sponsored by Blue Chew.
Blue Chew is a unique online service that brings the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis straight to your door at a fraction of the cost and in a chewable form.
Blue Chew's tablets combat all forms of ED and can help men gain extra confidence for when it's time to perform. Blue Chew is an online prescription service, and you know what that means.
No visits to the doctor's office, no awkward conversations, no waiting in line at the pharmacy, and it comes in a discreet package. So even your mail couriers who know all your secrets won't know what's up, or not up, so to speak.
It's also easy to get set up with Blue Chew. Just sign up at BlueChew.com using our code BATTLE, of course. Consult with one of their licensed medical providers to find the right ingredient and strength for you, and you'll get your prescription in days. It's all online.
And we've got a special deal for our viewers. Try Blue Chew free when you use our promo code BATTLE at checkout. Just pay $5 shipping. That's BlueChew.com, promo code BATTLE to receive your first month free. And we thank Blue Chew for sponsoring this episode. But right now, it's time for a death battle!
Oh, a visitor?
Mr. Luther, your company has invaluable resources for the people of Latveria. I will be seizing them.
Latveria? What an exquisite place to start a corporatocracy.
You wretch!
Pathetic!
Luther, just get your suit. Okay, you got a nanotech suit.
A mechanical replica.
It's called a Lexbot, you knuckle-dragging buffoon.
Its design is rather ingenious. Not as ingenious as mine, of course. But enough talk. Let us end these charades.
With pleasure.
What is this confounded contraption?
Two-dimensional morphographic technology. I haven't perfected it, but it's more than enough to exterminate an imbecile like you. More than enough to exterminate an imbecile like you.
What? Fool! You fell for my time shift bomb! Now, what does? What does? What does? Got you. What a farce! Impossible!
Impossible? That word has no meaning for someone like me. What about you?
That box, it's marvelous. And wasted on your incompetence.
He found the mother box.
Pitiful! What kind of a man are you?
A Superman. Still hiding behind this hideous mask, Tin Man? Let's show your true face the light of day!
Don't you see it? That mask is my true face. This power, it's like that of the gods. Beneath me.
Yeah, I got a feeling that Doom actually
I've heard of handing someone the L, but never pinning him to it.
Having a slight
literally
speed
got
advantage
two
and a
Ls
stronger
in
suit by
that
most
battle.
measures, Lex was able to hold his own with Doom for a time.
And sure, Lex could counter some of Doom's arsenal, but he couldn't defend against being transmuted to chrome, being blasted with antimatter, or getting his nerves scrambled from the inside.
What's more, Lex's mind has been swapped before, once with Superman, funnily enough.
Meaning if things got desperate, there was nothing to stop Doom from pulling a Captain Ginyu on Lex and swapping their minds.
Lex's mother box was certainly a powerful device, but he never quite mastered all of its potential. Not to mention, Doom's ace in the hole, the cosmic power siphon, has drained and stolen similar energy sources time and time again.
Galactus, Silver Surfer, and even the friggin' Beyonder. Yeah, I know, this mulleted doofus doesn't look like much, but he apparently has millions of times the power of the entire Marvel multiverse. And the siphon took all of it! There's no way the Mother Box could stand up to a device like that.
Thus, it was only a question of if Doom could bide his time before
Doom was
turning the
literally
tables
overpowered.
on Lex.
And given all the beatdowns he's survived from Marvel heavy hitters like Hulk and Sentry, I'd say Doom had that time.
Lex's tech was an impressive challenge that had the stats to contend with Doom, but against Doom's bewildering gadgets, magical trickery, and power-stealing siphon, the advantage was in the Doctor's court.
The King of Latveria claimed his victory. Hopefully Lex isn't a sore loser.
The winner is Dr. Doom.
Okay, so that was two death battles. And there will be more. And also, thanks guys for watching this video. If you like it, comment down below and hit the like and the subscribe button if you ever have to or actually love to. See you guys.